On the morning of December 1st, 1948, on the quiet sands of Somerton Beach near Adelaide, Australia, the body of a well-dressed man was discovered, slumped against a seawall, his legs crossed neatly, as if he had simply fallen asleep and never awoke. He carried no wallet, no identification. Every label on his clothing had been meticulously removed. In his pocket was a rolled-up scrap of paper bearing just two Persian words, Tamam Shud. It means ended or finished. Who was this man? Why did he die alone on a beach? And what secrets was he hiding? This is the case of the Somerton Man, one of the most mysterious and baffling unsolved cases of the 20th century. At around 6:30 a.m. on December 1st, 1948, a couple taking a morning walk along Somerton Beach noticed a man slumped against the seawall. At first glance, he appeared to be sleeping, but as the sun climbed higher, it became clear something was wrong. He wasn't moving. Police were called, and it was soon confirmed. The man was dead. He appeared to be in his 40s or 50s, well-built, clean-shaven. He wore a smart suit, complete with a tie and polished shoes. His appearance was odd for a man found dead on the beach. Not a grain of sand on his shoes. No sign he had walked there. The first mystery: how did he get there? The investigation began with the basics. Who was this man? How did he die? But there were immediate challenges. He carried no identification. Every label had been cut from his clothes, even from his undergarments. His fingerprints were taken and sent to national and international agencies, including the FBI. No match. An autopsy revealed something even stranger. His internal organs were congested with blood, especially the spleen and stomach. This pattern suggested poisoning, but no traces of poison were found. Nothing in his bloodstream, nothing in his stomach. Toxicologists were baffled. They concluded that the poison, if any, must have been a rare, fast-acting substance that left no trace. Something that, at the time, pointed toward digitalis, strophanthine, or an unknown synthetic poison. A few items were found in the man's pockets: a train ticket to Henley Beach, a bus ticket to Glenelg, an American-made comb, a half-full packet of chewing gum, some cigarettes. But oddly, they were of a different brand than the packaging. None of it offered clues to his identity. A search of the train station cloakroom revealed an unclaimed suitcase. Inside, a pair of trousers with sand in the cuffs, a screwdriver, a pair of scissors sharpened like a weapon, and a stenciling brush, commonly used by merchant seamen. Still, no name tags, no passport, nothing to link the man to any country, job, or life. Then came the most mysterious clue of all. A small, hidden pocket was discovered in the waistband of the man's trousers. Inside was a tiny rolled-up piece of paper, printed in elegant script with just two words: Tamam Shud. The phrase is Persian. It means finished or ended. It appears at the end of a book of poetry, the Rubaiyat of Omar Khayyam, a classic Persian work that reflects on life, fate, and death. Police scoured bookstores, libraries, and eventually made a public appeal. A man came forward with a copy of the Rubaiyat that had been left in the back seat of his unlocked car near the beach. That book matched the torn page exactly. In the back of the book, a phone number and a strange code. The phone number led to a woman named Jo Thomson, also referred to as Justin. She lived just minutes from Somerton Beach. When police visited her, she appeared shocked upon seeing a plaster bust of the dead man, almost fainting, according to some reports. But she insisted she didn't know him. She admitted she had once owned a copy of the Rubaiyat and had given it to a man named Alf Boxall, a former intelligence officer. Investigators believed they had cracked the case, but Boxall was very much alive and still had his copy of the book, fully intact. So who was the man on the beach? Was he connected to Jo Thomson? Was he another wartime intelligence officer? Or was there something even stranger going on? Written faintly in the back of the book was a code. 5 lines of capital letters, arranged in no apparent order. One line had been crossed out. Here is what it read: WRGOABABD. What did it mean? The Navy, Army, and police cryptographers all tried to decipher it. Some believed it was an acrostic, a code where each letter represents the first letter of a word. Others speculated it was a one-time pad cipher used in wartime espionage. A code that is unbreakable without the key. Despite decades of analysis, the code has never been cracked. It remains one of the most intriguing puzzles in modern history. Over the years, theories have flourished. Was he a Cold War spy? The late 1940s was a time of rising tensions between East and West, Australia. Australia had become a hub of intelligence activity. Jo Thomson had ties to individuals in defense, and her reaction to the bust seemed more than casual. Was it a tragic love story? Some speculate the man was in love with Jo, traveled to see her, was rejected, and took his own life in grief. Or was it something more mundane, a seaman, a drifter, a man suffering from mental illness? With no name, no family, no background, the man became a ghost. In 2022, after more than 70 years, a potential breakthrough finally arrived. Professor Derek Abbott, working with American geneticist Colleen Fitzpatrick, used advanced forensic DNA analysis and genetic genealogy to extract DNA from the hair preserved on the bust of the Somerton Man. After years of genealogical detective work, they arrived at a name: Carl Charles Webb, born in 1905 in Melbourne. An electrical engineer, a man with a troubled life. He was never reported missing. So far, there is no confirmed connection between Webb and Jo Thomson, or any solid motive for his death. But for the first time, the Somerton Man had a name, or so it seems. But the mystery is far from over. Why did Carl Webb travel to Adelaide? Why Somerton Beach? Was he poisoned? Did he take his own life? What was the code? And why the Rubaiyat, with its haunting themes of fate and finality? Even if we know his name, we may never know his story. The case of the Somerton Man may remain one of history's strangest unsolved mysteries. Not because we can't identify the man, but because we may never truly understand why he died. More than 70 years later, the Somerton Man lies in a grave that once read, "Here lies the unknown man found at Somerton Beach." Now, it may be possible to inscribe a name, but names alone don't solve mysteries. Stories do. And this story, full of secrets, codes, lost love, and Cold War whispers, remains unfinished. Or, as the scrap of paper in his pocket said,